We got Heat versus Celtics game 7, and I have two stone cold locks for this game. Now, normally I say there's no such thing as a lock, but I am riding somewhat of a hot streak. Not somewhat, I am riding a hot streak. I have won 6 straight NBA plays dating back to the Nuggets versus Lakers series. Now, you're probably asking yourself, why is it 6 and not 7? Well, let's get into that. So game 6 of the Heat versus Celtics series, I had 2 plays. I had Jaylen Brown under assists. That was a plus money banger. He ended with 3. That cashed. I also had Kevin Love under 9.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. Now we ended with 0. The issue is he didn't play at all. So my analysis that Kevin Love wasn't going to play a ton was correct, but I was incorrect in that he didn't even play at all. So that bet unfortunately was voided. So we're riding a 6-0 streak instead of a 7-0 streak. And we can see where things go for game 7. I have 2 plays for you guys to lock in. Both of them are unders. Before I get into it, 2 housekeeping items. Number 1, the most important thing when you're sports betting is to be signed up for every sportsbook available in your state. So if there is a sportsbook that you are not signed up with, I recommend checking out the links in the description of the video, signing up for those sports books. I also recently just launched a membership page. I have a $1 a month plan and a $4.99 a month plan. So if you want to become a Jedi in training, I recommend checking out the link in the description of the video as well. It's the very first one, and you can let me know if you have any questions there. And let's get right into it. 2 plays, 2 unders, Heat Celtics game 7. Play number 1. We are taking the total to go under 203.5. That is at minus 110 odds, both at DraftKings and BetMGM. I personally locked it in at DraftKings. So that's what I'm going to put in the, you see on top here. DraftKings can also lock it in at BetMGM. So this is a tried and true betting strategy. Game 7s trend under. They just do. There have been 2 game 7s so far in these playoffs. Both of them went under the total. Now, the risk here, of course, is that literally every single game in this series has gone over the number of 203.5. So when these sportsbooks are pricing odds, they know all of these trends, right? The sportsbooks aren't completely blind to the fact that game 7s trend under. So when it comes to betting unders in game 7, it's not something that you can do blindly. It's only if you have some value. Luckily, there is still value on this total going under 203.5. I was using a line shopping tool. Every single sportsbook aside from DraftKings and BetMGM have this total either at 203 or 202.5. And that includes the sharp sportsbooks. So my guess is that the total, the end line of the total is going to close closer to probably the 202.5 number. If I had to stake my reputation on that, I would guess it would close closer to 202.5. Meaning we would generate positive closing line value, which is what you want to do when you're betting. Going back to that Sixers Celtics game 7, I mentioned that went under this total, and that total was priced at exactly 203.5. So even with Jason Tatum's 50-point performance in game 7, the total still went under 203.5. It barely did. I think it landed at exactly 203, but hey, that still counts. That's still an under. And the logic makes sense, right? I've talked about it a ton on my YouTube channel. The pace slows down, defense gets ratcheted up. The stars, the players play heavy minutes, which is why the game slows down in general, because they just try to elongate the game to try and save their legs. And they also have tired legs. And if you ask any player that's played in a game 7, aside from what Jason Tatum just did, they talk about how difficult it is to have your jump shots go in. You're a little bit tighter. The defense plays a little bit harder. I never forget Kobe shooting like 6 of 24 in game 7 against the Celtics. He just kept shooting and he just couldn't find his rhythm. That's what happens in game 7. Now you do have your Tatums that go off for 50, but everybody else really didn't score that much in that game. So the value's there, the trends are there, the logic is there. We're taking the total to go under 203.5. Again, you can lock that in at BetMGM and DraftKings. Next up, we got a player prop. We are taking another under, Marcus Smart to go under 14.5 points, minus 122 odds at FanDuel. Now, this is my tried and true flip-flop method. You see what the recent trends have been. You flop when everybody else is flipping, also called the zigzag method. So the logic here, Marcus Smart has scored 20 plus points in games 5 and 6. He's been huge for the Celtics in the past 2 games. The thing is, the previous 5 games, he had gone under 14.5 points. Now, if you want to pinpoint why his total has gone over the past 2 games, it's from 3-point shooting. He made 4 3-pointers in each of the last 2 games. That's something that he hadn't done since game 4 of the Sixers series. So that means he had gone 8 straight games without hitting 4+ 3-pointers, and then he did that in 2 straight games. Now, Marcus Smart is not Steph Curry, is not Klay Thompson, is not known as a sharpshooter. He can get hot, but he is an inconsistent shooter. One of my favorite takes that I have is that the worst thing that can happen to the Celtics is Marcus Smart makes his first 2 3-pointers, because then he'll miss 10 straight and he won't stop shooting. So even if he makes his first couple, he makes 2 in the first quarter, I would still project him to go under the 14.5 points and under the 3-point total of 4. Not that that's what his line is set at, but that's what he's hit in the past 2 games. So when you look at it, the most likely thing to happen here is that the pendulum swings back the other way. Marcus Smart has a poor shooting night. Maybe he puts, he's always going to put effort on defense. Maybe he puts even more effort on defense. So when it comes to it, in game 7s, what you want to do is you bet non-superstars to go under their point total. Because sure, you're going to have a Jason Tatum and a Steph Curry step up and score 50+, but the other players, the role players, are just not going to score as much. That's just how things trend, and that's just how game 7s go. So 2 bets for you guys to lock in the total, going under 203.5, Marcus Smart going under 14.5 points, and that's all I got. So if you're tailing these 2, comment and let me know. If you have your own picks that you like, comment and let me know that as well. Other than that, remember to like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, check out the sportsbook sign up links in the description of the video. Sign up for a membership if you are so inclined to become a Jedi in training. Thanks for watching and have a good one.